Hello, hello, crafty friends. Stacy here with the Tuesday Creative Session. And look at this super fun card. Look at that gear just spinning there. Super cute, right? So we're going to make this card tonight. This is a Happy Father's Day card. There's lots of inking techniques. We're going to do ink blending. We're going to do first and second generation stamping. Super, super easy card design, uses minimal supplies, but I'm going to show you how to do this. How I have this wheel to move here. I'm gonna show you some tricks on doing heat embossing, because I don't know about you, but I have a problem using white embossing powder. But I think I did a pretty great job there. So I'm going to tell you what I did to get a really good impression and show you where I also messed up. So always down below in the description, there's a tutorial there for you. Also, those bearings that I mentioned, which I'm going to show you right here. I have a link for these on YouTube. There's two sizes I use, a 7mm and a 10mm, because I've made quite a few projects using this set. So what I am using, let me show you. I am using the Gears and Textures dies. I'm also using the Gears and Textures stamp set, and I'm also using the Family Ties stamp set to make this a Father's Day card. Again, all the item numbers are linked below. And then one other new item that I'm bringing into this card is this Lunar Luster specialty paper. So I'm moving it because you see it's super thin. This is not a thick cardstock. It's double-sided on both sides. It's a muted silver, if that makes sense. So it's not a shiny silver. It's like, okay, like a matted silver. I thought it was perfect for these gears, all the die cuts that I used. So that's this specialty paper, and it's the first time that I used it. It's super thin, thinner than regular specialty paper, if that makes sense. Okay, so what we are starting out with, I have a Night of Navy card base. This is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. I went ahead and put my score mark on there already. Then you're just going to need two pieces of basic white. Each one of these are 4 by 5.25. One's for the inside, one's for the outside. Super easy. But then you're also going to need a piece of that lunar luster, or however the configuration of cardstock or specialty paper you're using. But this is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And you'll see here that I have my dies. So a little trick. This is just a mat for this layer, right? So all I'm really want is 1/8 of that silver all the way around for border. So the inside of that just becomes wasted negative space, right? So I use that and I cut out all of the dies that I needed for this card, just being sure to just kind of stay in the center. So that's a tip that you should always do to save your paper, because like I said, I just need that little border on that. So first tip of the day. All right, so what we want to do is we want to get to our stamping. So we're going to bring both of those basic white layers out. For my inks today, I'm using Night of Navy, I have basic gray, and I have pool party. So what I want to do is I just want to do this inside layer here, and then we'll move on to the front. So I'm going to bring in a piece of scrap paper. Okay, and for the inside, I only used the basic gray to do some ink blending. So this is really fun for doing some grungy type of inking. So making all these like custom backgrounds, I thought that is Really cool. So all you want to do is you want to get some ink on your blending brush, and I'm just going to tap off because I don't want any of those harsh lines. I want really soft blurred lines, and this is kind of dark, the basic gray. So what I'm doing is I just want to, if you can see, I have some blending up here in this corner and down there. You can see that gray coming through that pool party. So that's all I'm going to do up in the corner here and down in this corner. Again, super light, doesn't really need to be dark. Okay, perfect. Then, what I am going to do is, since I have the basic gray out, I'm just going to put, no, we're just going to do one layer at a time. I don't want to confuse anybody. So now I came in with my pool party and this stamp right here, and I am going to stamp in the top corner and in the lower corner, just right down on my paper, just like that. Okay, that takes care of that stamp. Next, I have that arrow, that nice, thick, chunky arrow, and I'm going to use the Night of Navy just for one last stamp. Make sure that's inked up nice, and I'm just going to put it, everything's kind of overlapping right here at the bottom, just like that. All right, so this takes care of my inside layer. So now I can put this off to the side. So now we are going to start building this bottom layer. So let me just bring you in a little bit because we got lots going on here. So we have some of the ink blending. If you can see that pool party in the back here, some pool party there. I have some basic gray coming up here. Okay, a little bit down here, a little pool party. Then I came in with the stamping of that middle. Then you'll see here, that's second generation of the Night of Navy. This is first generation of Night of Navy. And then these splatters are second generation of the basic gray. So lots going on, but I think everything pulls together really great on the card. So let's get back to building that. So I'm going to grab that piece. I'm going to, again, put some ink on my basic gray here. And again, let's do a little bit in the corner. So see, I have a little bit of harsh lines, and I don't like it, but can you really tell? See how it's just a little darker? I don't really like it. So all I'm going to do is just flip my card base over for this card. Okay, that's better. I had a little bit too much, I think, on my brush. But again, there is no right or wrong. Okay, so, and then I want to put maybe a little bit right here. All right, that's about all. So you see I have like those two blur spots there because I don't want a lot of ink blending on this. Now I'm going to come in. That's why I used Night of Navy. I messed up right there. You know what? Let me cut a new piece because that's why I used my Night of Navy. Let's see, is this a big enough piece here? No, hold on. Let me cut a new piece of basic white. That was 4 by 5 1/4, really quick. I knew something was wrong there. 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, let's do this again. Let's use the correct color, basic gray. I got to clean this blending brush out now. So we are going to come in. Let me grab a new blending brush. It's perfect with my black on it. Okay. All right, let's do it over. I knew something was wrong. All right, so now it's basic gray. That's the colors I want here. So again, let's start over. I'm going to get my basic gray on my brush. We're going to get those harsh lines. See, that's a better color. That's what I was looking for. All right, now we're going to do a little bit up here. And everybody, with the beauty of YouTube and recordings, you can simply just fast forward. And I try to put chapters in my videos, so hopefully that helps. But I do not edit. I do not edit. I'm not one of those editing crafters. I'm just doing it for the fun of it. All right, there I have two blurred lines. I think that's kind of good for my basic gray. And now I'm going to come in with my pool party. We're going to do the same thing. We're just going to put like a few, I'll put like one here. I don't want a lot of this. I don't want my background to be overtaken by blending marks. And we'll put like one up here. Okay, I think that's kind of good. So you see, I have a little bit of a blurred images there. Now I'm going to leave my pool party out. And if you see here, I have a cluster, like two down here and two up top. So I want to try to follow that same pattern I have. So this is what I'm going to build next. I'm going to put stamp here. Okay. Another one right next to it. I'm going to put a third one right on top of it, and overlapping is great. Okay. And then we're going to put a fourth one over here. Okay. It's looking good. I know you might be saying, that is a hot mess, Stacy, but believe me. Now I'm going to come in with my Knight of Navy and those arrows. We're going to put a few arrows. So I want to put one kind of going up right here. Right about there. I have to make sure I cut this the right size. Make sure it's not too big. Put one right there. Then I just want a little piece right there at the top. Perfect. Okay. Before I go further, let me make sure. This is 4. Yep, by 5 1/4. That's correct. Okay. So now I'm going to keep my Knight of Navy out, and I'm going to do second generation stamping with this grid stamping right here. So I'm going to stamp, get my ink on my stamp once. Then we're going to put one here. Okay, and then we're going to do another one. See, it's just a little too dark. We're going to put one here. Looking good. Maybe we'll get one off the side here. So there's no right or wrong. You're just kind of building your background. Just use up those stamps, all the stamps that come in your stamp set. Sometimes you get all these little ones, or you're like, what do I do with all these? Just build your own DSP. So now we're going to use the basic gray, and we're going to do second generation. This is that splatter stamp. So you're going to stamp once, and then we're going to just like fill in with this. Okay. Stamp, fill in. Okay, I think it's looking good. And this is where you can kind of hide some imperfections. If you got some imperfections going on, or you smeared a little ink there. And I think less is more, right? Like I don't need to go fill everything in. I really think less is more here, but I want a little bit more right there. That's good. That's good. I'm not going to start messing with it. Okay. So I think that looks like a masterpiece. Might look like a hot mess, but I think it's coming out good. All right. Let me get all my stamps out of the way. And now I'm going to come in with that gutted piece from my dies. And we are just going to layer these two together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with my silicone mat, and I'm going to get right along the edge here, get my adhesive. Just like that. And my first class, as you know, I do a card class the first Saturday of every month. This is the top. My March class is featuring gears and textures. So lots of more cards, card making fun with this bundle, that is for sure. All right, this is just a little tiny bit peeking out. Just like that. Just that little bit. And look, so see, can't even tell. All right, now I'm going to come in with that card base. If I can find doopy doopy doo my card base, here it is. And that inside stamping layer is right here. We're going to adhere that down to the inside. This Gears and Textures is a super fun card. And you know what I love about it? It is masculine themed. There's a lot of ideas. Think about these wheels, right? These rotating gears or whatever you want to call them, bearings. Um, there is a lot of scrapbook pages, card making you can do with this for those men in your life. So I'm happy about that because we never have anything in our stash. Well, I know I don't, um, on the ready for men. Children, definitely ladies, right? Thank you cards, all that kind of stuff, but never just those cool masculine cards on the ready. But this set definitely has uh lots that you can make with it. Okay, so I just layered up my card. See, that's all I did, nothing crazy. All right, now we are going to, let me bring you in just a little bit because I want to build this card so that you can see. Oh, and we're going to do the heat embossing now. So I want to show you, I've already gone ahead. So let me show you, here's my father's, but look at how great that came out. Nice and thick, right? I'm really proud of myself with the white. And this is the embossing powder. It's opaque, bright white by the Wow. That's what we sell here. Now, I use an embossing buddy. We don't sell these, but you might have that. So you want to have that. You definitely need your Versamark. And then I use coffee filters so that I can catch all of the extra and dump it in. But what I want to show you, so let me show you how when I was first, I don't typically use white, and here's why. Because see how it doesn't look fully filled in? Look at the difference here. Look at how nice and thick that is. So since I already did this and I fussy cut this out, it's ready, but I want to just show you the purpose of how to get it better, thicker like this and not like this when you're using the white. So first trick is you need to use your embossing buddy. And I did use it here, okay? But you definitely want to make sure you just rub that on your cardstock wherever you're going to emboss because then it doesn't stick there, right? Let me get everything out of the way. So I have my father's already on my acrylic block. So what I did was lately, I've been finding I am pushing my stamp into my Versamark. I am making sure I am getting Versamark in every single raised area. And yes, by pushing that in, it's getting all on the inside. And I don't care because when I stamp, I am stamping on a very hard surface. There is no give. So I'm only getting the raised part of the stamp on my paper, if that makes sense. And I find I'm getting such a better impression using my Versamark. Now, when I use my regular stamp pads, I just tap, tap, tap. But I'm telling you, look at this. When I use my Versamark, I get it all in there. I am not afraid to really get it on there. And I clean it. It's all good. That's what my scrubbing um, uh, brush is for. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp that. See how I'm on a nice hard surface. I'm not getting any where it shouldn't be, okay? That is a really nice impression. So now what I'm going to do, I got my white ready to go. Okay. Now, I don't just dump it off. I let it sit here for a few seconds. And then what I start to do, I think this is the magic money for me. I start going like this, or I tap, 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 and I let it freely fall down over every crevice of that Versamark, which is like like a sticky residue. And then I come over, tap it off. All right. Now I could see there's a little space in some of that. So I'm just coming back in before I heat set it and just dump it all on there. And then I shake it. I really let it fill in to anywhere it can catch some of that um ink. All right. Now tap, tap, tap. You can flick it off. And then I always have different size paintbrushes, right? You can get all that excess off, blow on it. But since I'm fussy cutting, it's okay because if you have little speckles, once you heat set that, that will heat set. All right, so now the reason for the coffee filters, look at that. No waste. I dump it right back in. Super easy. I love embossing. I love heat embossing. All right, so now let's heat this up. I have my gun. Oh, Jesus, I can't believe I just did that. This was falling off the table and look, I grabbed it. I'm really batting 1,000 today. It's probably not sticky anymore. Oh yeah, I got some on there. Oh yeah, look at that. It was. Okay, cool. I grabbed it because it was falling off. Okay. We're just going to disregard some of the extra smudge that's going to be on that. This is just to show you how working with the white embossing powder, you really want to get a thick image, a nice full image. All right. So since I messed that up, this isn't going to be a pretty one, but we're going to make it work. Again, you can fast forward. Just going to heat set this so you can see the difference. Okay. So again, don't mind any of my mess here, but the purpose was to show you how nice and thick I was able to get it by reapplying, putting more of that embossing powder on before I heat set it. One pass, this is what I got, right? One pass. So I stamped it, sprinkled it on, tapped it off, heat set it. That's what I got. Nice and thicker, stamped it, put the embossing powder on, tapped it off, more embossing powder, and like let it sit there a minute and like tap, 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 let it get in all the grooves, and you get such a thicker, nicer, uh, stamped image. So that's why I had already gone ahead and done that because I didn't want to fussy cut while we were on camera here. That'll take too long. But look at how nice and thick that is. And it's such a nice raised enamel feel. So beautiful. So I hope you picked up some tips on how I like to do my heat embossing. All right, so let's get back to creating our card here. So next, what I'm going to do is silicone mat. Where are you? Here you are. Okay, I am going to, I got to use different adhesive because I don't want to pull. I have this one. I need to be a little delicate. All right, so I'm going to take my ladder. I love these silicone mats because you don't get glue anywhere it shouldn't go. This is going to go kind of right about there. Right, and then I'm going to come in with this chain. Look at these dies. Love them. We're going to put this right about here. Okay. So I'm going to move this just a tad. This adhesive gives me a moment. It's like temporary for a little bit. Okay. So that there, then I'm going to take this piece here and that's going to go up there. And I'm just kind of eyeballing all this. However you want to do it. I'm going to go right about there. That looks good, right? Cool. Okay, that is good. All right, now look at this little gear. Look at those little dots. Our mini Stampin' Dimensionals are perfect for when you have little areas that you don't want poking through. So I am going to put this right here in the corner, just like that. And then I'm going to just line this up. So I have my father's on foam tape. And so what? It's touching things. That's all the point here. Maybe we want that like there. Okay. And then happy and day. So let me show you on this stamp set, they are very small stamps. So what I did was I cut, I believe this is about 3/8 of an inch strip. And I had it on my block, Happy and Day, and then I went ahead and heat embossed that. And then all I'm going to do is just snip off one end there, snip off Day. You can banner these words however you want to do it. Okay, so those are just the two words we need. All right, so Happy is going to kind of go here. Yeah, I think that's good. So let's just put Father down first. Because once the middle word is down, then we can kind of build off that. This feels like it's uneven. Okay, that looks better. Okay. All right, so I want to put fathers right about there. So then day can go right there, perfect, and happy can go right there, perfect. Okay, let's do that. The chain. I want it off the chain a little bit. Off the chain. Isn't that what people say? Oh, that's off the chain. So silly. Okay. And then happy, we're going to put right about there. Cool. Okay, now. All right, let's talk about, is that all I have here? Yeah, just the gear now. So, and then some of these beautiful Drusy adhesive back, Drusy druzy adhesive backed embellishments. I don't know, but the silver and the gold bling is gorgeous on these. All right, so this bearing, now this is going to take a minute to dry, so I'm just going to put a dot of liquid glue right here. Okay. And then, so if you get these bearings here, I'll show you close. So you have a wider, a larger round side and then a smaller side. So this is the side that rotates and moves, and our underside of our die cut is going to go here with a mini glue dot, okay? But that gets adhered to the base of our card with the liquid glue. So this takes a minute to dry. So what I do is I lightly push it down and leave it. Okay. So I'm just going to move this out of the way for a second. I'm going to take this here and I'm going to put 2 mini glue dots right in the middle. While that is adhering just a little bit. And now what I'm going to do is carefully, actually, we'll wait. I'll wait. I'm going to do my gems for a second and then I'll come back to that. So I'm going to just try to do a triangle of 3 gems. So I'm going to take a larger one and put it here. We'll take a smaller and put it here. And another smaller right up there. Perfect. Okay. These are super shiny. I love them. Okay. So now we're going to get that gear again. Remember, we have our mini glue dots. So now I'm going to carefully put that right over that center. And I don't want to touch it with my finger too much. I just dropped it there because I don't want to move it around. So I'm going to come in with like a pokey tool or something, the blunt, the end of a pokey tool. And I'm just going to, yeah, see, I don't want that to move. I'm just pushing it down and I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to let that dry. So obviously my first card I made here is already dry. So we're just going to leave this one to sit a moment. I'll bring this one back up to show you today's card. So I hope you enjoyed it. Think about this. Happy birthday. So, all right, I fussy cut letters out because Father's was a nice big font, but you can make, a banner cluster here, or if you have die cuts with sentiment, for the frames, you can do that, layer a few frames. If you wanted to add a few more gears, if you wanted to do 2 gears, you can put another one here maybe, and then put this little guy up here. This is just a great set. Obviously, if you notice, it doesn't come with any sentiments. Okay, these are the stamps and these are the dies. It's just great background, grungy, and great for masculine cards. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you pick up gears and textures. And if you do, be sure to come back March 7th when I show you an entire class playing with the gears and textures bundle. So I hope you enjoyed today's creative session. Give my video a like, subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment. I'd love to interact with everybody in the comments. And I love when you let me know if you liked my techniques or not. And you know what? It's also about those little tips that we pick up along the way. Well, have a wonderful day, everyone. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care now.